I'm learning to sew, but I'm taking the knowledge of all of the women that came before me in order to actually be able to sew. I've had this like on and off again, like love for sewing. I've really, really tried to like get this skill, but every single time I was either super overwhelmed by the sewing machine or just like really impatient. So I'm trying to learn to be more intentional about what like my like crafts that I really like doing, and just being okay with being slow and being not good. So in saying that, I want to run you through what I've gotten for like as a beginner sewer, which is all here in this cute little basket. I really, really want to make a like whip bag, or like just like a craft bag for like on the go or as my sewing kit as well, because I crochet a lot, and I always take some crochet supplies to like my partner's soccer games or when we go out, and I always take my crochet stuff like wherever I go and have downtime. So yeah, I'm just going to unpack these bits. So to kick off with, I actually want to show you my first kind of sewing project I want to do, which will be the like whip bag project bag. This is the pattern I have. My mum's made this tote bag before, but the other ones we haven't done yet. And I really, really want this like angular, triangular bag, because I think it'd be like the most perfect craft bag. And I really want to customize it so it's like my perfect craft bag. So I want to have like eyelets through it. I want to be able to hang trinkets. I want to be able to have like a eyelet to pull like my yarn through so I don't have to pull my yarn out of the bag. And then it's just going to house all of my other supplies. And I just think the triangular is just really, really funky. I also don't like a craft bag that's like too high. I'd much prefer like lower and wider. So I was tossing up between this one or the top one. And the top one is nice, and don't get me wrong, I'll probably try and make that too. But I just think the triangle one's like really, really funky. So that's what I'm going to achieve, but I'm not going to do it by myself. My sister is going to help me, and she's been sewing for ages, so she's an absolute whiz. So I'm going to trust her with that. I have some other like basic patterns I want to try. Like there's this one I've had for years, which is like a really basic dresses or like an apron. The apron's probably going to be the project that I start with just because it looks really, really simple. I don't know if it will be, but I have hope. So we'll see how we go there. There's also this which says super easy, but I do remember my mum making it and said it's like a bit fiddly, but this is on the dream wish list for some big flary pants that I'd likely live in. And then I also grabbed this just because it says like medium difficulty, but I like the halter dress. So I'd love to give this a crack. I don't know how to read a pattern. I don't know how to sew, so I could be way too adventurous. Because I was the one that like couldn't sew or like couldn't crochet when my mum and my sister could, especially when I was younger. I was a person like weaving in all of the ends of like the granny squares or any sort of crochet project. And I was also the one that would like cut out the sewing patterns and cut out the fabric or stitch pick things apart and things like that. But now I have another evolution where I'm actually crocheting and I'm going to try and sew. I've sewn like a couple of basic things like a placemat and a cushion, but I've not made it very far. So yeah, for the like craft bag, I want to show you my fabric choices. I went with this really funky check, and it's just got like pink and green and this winey colour through it, and I just think it's so cool girl coded. I also have this like satin fabric, which is probably going to be a pain in the ass, but it's got little embroidered flowers on it, and I've had it for years, and I just think it's so pretty. And then I have this one, which is like this soft peach and mint, like floral, which is so cute. My sister taught me how to like sew the other day, and we made like a crochet hook case, and we did the crochet hook case in these two colors. So that's why I want to incorporate these two, and then also a contrast with the check. So my crochet hook case perfectly matches my bag. So this is my choice. I just think they're so cool. And like they're very contrasted, but I think they work together. I don't know. I just think they're so perfect together. Then on the front of the bag, I started making a prize ribbon. So this is my base so far. So I have this crochet heart that I've had for years that Shelby made, and we've never known what to do with it. So I think it would be really, really cute in the center of the prize ribbon like this. And I've just done a little edge with embroidery floss crocheted on the outside. And then these are the ribbons that I've gone with to have as like the tassels at the bottom of this. So I hope you get the vibe, but that's what I'm thinking. And I think it'd be really, really pretty on the front of this. Just really sort of like loud and crafty and cool. That kind of thing. It's really hard to hold everything. Then I have this little Miffy patch, and I really want to sew it on the front of the bag. This is my last one. I have two other ones, but one's on a like needle case that I made for Shelby, and the other's on a bag that Shelby made for me, but I think that she needs to be on my craft bag. I've then got this. You can tell I've like really fixated on like the like bag and the how it's going to look, just because I'm so excited about it. I started making this like plush star, which I'm going to stuff and then put like a safety pin on the back, and it just says Chungy on it, which is just a nickname I have. So I really want that on the front of the bag too. Then I've got a pin cushion, classic pin cushion, and some pins, some sewing needles in there too. I have some lime green ribbon, which I feel like I'm just going to use to decorate the bag, but I don't know yet. I just think it's handy to have ribbon in a bag. I've got some eyelets. Should be fun. Then I've got some more little letter beads. I have some mini embroidery snips. I really like embroidery, and they're just like a nice, good, tiny set. I've got some big dress scissors, my first pair of dress scissors ever, or fabric scissors. Then I've got this little pin from DIY Daisy, my lovely pal, and it just says self-taught, and I also want that to decorate the bag, which is perfect. Then I've got some elastic here, just some thin or medium sort of width braided elastic. I think this is a non-roll one. I actually don't know. That's like in my brain from growing up. I also watch a lot of sewing YouTubers, and I've definitely like helped my mum and sister sew for like years and years and years. So I do know a lot of the terms. It's just like now I actually get to be the one saying them. And then some pins. It's a lot of pins, but it was cheaper to get that than a smaller pack. Some safety pins. Cool. Like threading elastic, or to pop on the back of this like badge. So that'll be really fun. Some thinner braided elastic. Then I've got a tape measure. I have a second one of it, but Jelly ate it, so. Then I've got this blue button here, which is a very specific button that I've chosen to go on the front of the bag to seal it, because there was like a little button closure, if you can see. So that'll be her. Then I've got a different little tape measure just in the round. Some more ribbon, some like pink satin ribbon. Some lace, just because I freaking love lace. Random embroidery floss for a current project that I'm doing. a thimble. Nice. A stitch pick. In pink, of course. And then this, which is actually used in Magic the Gathering, but I've used it to count my rows, like a row counter for like crochet. And knitting is also on my wish list to do, so I think this will be a really handy row counter, and you can just like swap the numbers to count where you're up to. So multi-purpose. But yeah, that is all I have for my craft bag so far. And I'm just really excited about it. I think we're going to make the craft bag this coming weekend, and then I'll be able to put everything in and then use it. So I'll show you through the process of making it, and I'll also obviously do a reveal after. But yeah, that's what's going to be in like my crafty whip project bag / sewing kit.